you are a sports entrepreneur. So
Yeah.
tell me the story. Tell me the story. How did you get there? What attracted you into this?
Actually, funny thing is, sports found me.
Mm.
It wasn't something that I was going around to look for or something that I ever thought I would be in, despite the fact that while in school, I was actually a swimmer and I did play tennis. But after that, that was it.
Like me.
You know, never, never once do you ever think that along the line, that's what I would say the ancestors were still waiting for me to catch up on. So what happened was that a couple of years ago, I had still have a very good friend of mine. He's from Uganda,
Mm.
and he was hosting a program here in Nairobi, and he was doing a coaches course for the whole of Africa, basically. And so he had invited a good number of coaches from different countries to come through. But on the last minute, unfortunately, he had an emergency and he had to go back to Uganda for a
Yeah.
few days. But he didn't want to cancel the program because everybody was already flying in.
Mm.
And it happened to coincidentally be at a time when I'd just quit my job and I had nothing else to do and I didn't even know what I was going to do. So he
Ooh.
started he started asking around common friends like, can somebody hold the fort down? And for some weird reason, everybody suggested me. And so he started to look for me. And so after a while, I'm like, what do you need? And he was like, hey, I have this program. I really don't want to cancel it. People are already coming. Could you hold the fort until I come back? I was like, okay, sure. Where is it? Just happened again to be right next to my house. I was like, oh, okay. I don't have to spend much going anywhere. So yes, I can do that. That whole week when I held the fort down, they came back. We were doing the courses. I was in just seeing what people were doing. And so after the week, when I was talking to the trainer, who I think was from Canada, I was like, I like this. This sounds very interesting,
Yeah.
but I don't have the patience to be a coach. So what else is there? I don't have the teaching skills. So what else is there that works for this? Like, what else is there? And so he was like, yeah, you can come in, you can see we have management, we have this, we have this. And so I was like, okay, let me see what else I can learn. And so I first started with different classes on. I started with coaching a bit, and I was like, that's not for me. Then through through my links on LinkedIn, one of the people who's currently still one of my mentors introduced me to something called the business of football. And so when I took that class, that entire class, I was like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
I like this. I like where this is going. And
Exactly.
so I reached back to him and I asked him, do you have more of this? It's like, I want this behind the scenes. I want to see what people are doing. This is what nobody sees. Everybody sees the players on the
Yeah.
pitch. But
Yeah.
the business of football is everything that makes sure those players get on the pitch on that day for you to be able to see it.
Mm,
From
mm, mm.
sports, from the lawyers to the doctors to the management to the TV crew to the IT team, everything. And so I was like, this is what I want to do. And so that is how I got into the business of football rather than business
Ooh.
of sports. And now,
Wow.
after a while, I said, now I want to bring this to Africa. I want to bring
Yeah.
this back home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think the opportunities are massive here. We have the people, we have the young generation who's hungry for something else. This is a field that is not very traditional. No 2 days are the same. No one day is the same. Even when I wake up in the morning, I know no one day is the same, despite the decision makings that we have to be in. I am constantly 99% of my life in class, studying new things. And that's because this, as like the world is evolving. So it's not really waiting for us to catch up. So we have to catch up with it. We have to work with it and then work towards pulling Africa to it by force. Like now we have no choice of we are not begging. Like you have to catch up with everybody else.
Yep.
Because if you're looking at situations of where we are now talking about AI and people are using AI in football games, and we are still talking about traditional holding a camera on the field to film players playing, we are still way far behind, but I still think with so much tech right now, we're able to come to much faster.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. See, there are so many opportunities in various areas of life that just thinking about it blows my mind. See, you were able to take up this opportunity for several reasons. One, somehow you have exposed yourself as a person who is good at taking challenges. For those people that person told, hey, I want somebody who can do this, and they mentioned you. See, you did it. You did that. Because if you have not positioned yourself as the kind of person who can do this kind of things, nobody would have mentioned you.
True.
So I give you that mark. Excellent. See, many people don't understand, many young people don't understand that the things you do today will eventually put you in the space where someone says something and the first name that comes to mind is yours.
It's yours.
You did that. Now, when you now saw the opportunity, you also saw many other opportunities. And then you started asking, what else can I do?
What else is there?
Yeah. What else? And you're here.
Yes.
Exploring some maybe
Other new
weird
channels.
opportunities.
Many more. It's like it's such a fascinating industry. I mean, it never gets old of how excited I always get to learn new things because there's so much to learn, but it's so much for one person. At the same time, I'm like, I still want to. I remember like there was someone who was saying like, just pick one thing and go with it because you don't have to do everything. And I was like, but I want to know everything. Like every single thing that I do, like I start and I'm stuck somewhere, and someone says, because like there was a time when I was doing contracts, and there was I fell upon something to do with the anti-doping agency, and it was a time when I realized, wait, I really don't know much about this, and so I go back and ask one of my mentors, hey, this anti-doping thing is, I know I'm seeing it quite a lot, but I would like to understand it.
Yeah.
And he sent me to a class in Switzerland and was like, hey, there are several sessions they're doing that covers this under sports law. And so I registered for that class, only to end up getting even more than what I actually thought I would get. But you see, so one part of the education came through something else and then opened this field in sports. And I was like, okay, so like I like this. What does this got to do? Right now, I'm following up on international relations with sports. And that's because I realized for me to be able to represent Africa in the way I think I should, in the way I want to, it means I still have to have a bit of international relations in me in
Yeah.
for us to be able to have these conversations with everybody.
Yeah.
And so every single step where I reach and where I want to advance, I always advance it now with a bit of education to back it up.
Yep.
So that at least I understand that section properly. So that even when I'm explaining to the young people who are inviting me for mentorship, I know what I'm talking about. It's not something like, no, I picked only one thing and that was it. No, no, no. I went, I learned, I studied, I practiced, I saw what it is, I made partners through there. And so I'm confident when I'm explaining this chapter to someone. Yeah.
Wow. Simple. See, you again, I'll use the word maybe because I've been out of the continent for some time, I don't know how dynamic people are now. But I talk to a lot of loads of young people. but you are very unique. You are. See, I'm serious. I talk
Okay.
to a lot of young people. You are maybe 5% of the, see, in terms of your thinking, in terms of your strategy, in terms of your actions, you are pretty unique. See, as a leader, we need you. We need people like you who don't only put themselves in spaces to see opportunities, but they take those opportunities and they do something. They go back to study, to catch up, to understand the industry, to understand where is this coming from, so that you can push it to where it should go.
It should be.
See, a lot of young people, young Africans, want to do something, but they don't want to first understand where it is coming from.
What it is, or what it is.
See, when you don't understand where something is coming from and you're trying to move it to where it's going to go, you will never be able to do that. Because the history of things determines the trajectory of that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You are unique. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
You know,